Hello, good morning. Welcome to 5 Minute Fresh Start. I'm Sebastian Lucido. I want to take a look at Satan's fall. You know, when we see Satan in the garden with Adam and Eve, he had fell maybe hundreds of millions of years earlier. It was much earlier. He also, a lot of you may not know, but the earth, it was really restored in Genesis. There was life here before Genesis 1:1. 1:1 through 3, when he incubated the earth and brought life back to it. It touches on it a little bit here. One day we'll do a teaching on that. We do a whole hour on it, but today we can't touch that. So in Isaiah chapter 14, we have what's called Satan's 5 I wills. So if you go to Isaiah 14, verse 12, it says, "How are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How were you cut down to the ground? You weaken the nations. For you have said in your heart," so this is his 5 I wills, "I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God." I'll come back through. "I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest side of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol, to hell, to the lower depths of the pit. Those who see you will gaze at you and consider, saying, is this the man," literally it's this the male, "who made the earth to tremble, who shook the kingdoms, who made the world a wilderness and destroyed its cities, who did not open the house of its prisoners." So let's go back through it. And when you look at it, we're trying to glean from it, what is his MO? What's Satan's mode of operating? What is his way of thinking? Because he's our enemy and we need to know it. We need to understand it. I sum it up with one word: control. He wants to control everything. He wants to be God. But when you go back through it, I want you to look at how much of this is in humanity. How much of this is driving humanity today? It says, "How are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning," right? "You are cut down to the ground, who did weaken the nations." He was here before, hundreds of millions of years before, on this earth, and this earth was destroyed and became a wilderness, as you'll see in verse 17, because of his fall. It says, "For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars," or all of the angels of God. So he's saying, I'm going to exalt my throne above all of the angels. God's not going to give me that position. Without regard to God, I'm going to exalt my throne above the other stars of God. I'm going to make my place in the mount of the congregation on the farthest side of the north, which must be an area of heaven that is desired. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. In other words, I'm not going to keep my habitation here. I'm going to heaven itself to exalt my throne there. He said, I'll be like the Most High God. I will be a God. Right? Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol. But what's he saying there? He's saying, even though I was created, even though God's my creator, even though he created all things and put me in my position, in my place, I can make my way in this life without regard to God. I can do what I want without regard to God. I can live the way I want without regard to God. I can be self-made. And so when you come into salvation, you realize, as Peter did when he was fishing, when Jesus said, cast your net out in the deep, for a catch, and he caught the great, horde of fish. What did he say? He humbled himself because he knew something greater was in front of him. That's Jesus. He exalted Jesus, and what did he do? He forsook all and followed him. Man on his own will think he's making his own way and he's self-made. At the end of the day, a true believer believes that God gave him everything, and everything is from God, and therefore we give God glory and praise. We deny our lives here, we pick up our cross, and we follow him. Satan, on the other hand, wanted to make his own way without regard to God. Ezekiel 38 is the answer to this. It's Ezekiel 28. Go read it today if you would. It's the answer from God. But I want you to see, those who see you will gaze at you, consider, saying, is this the male who made the earth to tremble, who shook the kingdoms, who made the entire world a wilderness and destroyed all of its cities? This is the gap theory. there were people here, and those, Satan's fall destroyed this world. That's why it's called the angelic conflict. What happens is God incubates the earth, brings life back to the earth. Satan's looking, saying, what are you doing? God puts man here. Satan says, you got to be kidding me. This man and this woman have dominion over what I had dominion over. He destroys them by bringing deception in. And so there's the angelic conflict between Satan and God, Satan and Jesus. And so we're in that battle as representatives of God. We'll talk about that in the future broadcast. God bless you guys. I pray that God's face would shine upon you. Please share this with family and friends. Please go to our website, watchersoftruth.com. Sign up to be a free member. Get access to all of our curriculum workbooks. It's all free to you. And then also pray about becoming a partner with us and joining with us to bring the Word of God.